이번 주에도 돌아온 반반 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태웅입니다. 반갑습니다.
And I'm Jeep. Welcome to Half and Half. And today we're going to talk about book acquisition.
음, 한국어로 하면 뭐 책 구하기?
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. I assume you're mostly just talking about like buying books, not like borrowing or renting books, right?
그래요?
That's what I thought you wanted to talk about. You tell me.
아니에요. 저는 그냥
Mhm.
그 말 그대로 사거나 빌리거나
Okay.
바꾸거나 그냥 읽을 책을 어떻게든 구하는 거?
Okay. So when you say 구하다 in Korean, that can also mean borrowing or renting.
그쵸?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it only meant buying, but
어,
that's an interesting thought. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just learning more about the language. That's all.
뭐 저는 그렇게 쓸 수 있다
Yeah,
생각하는데,
yeah. Okay.
근데 뭐 다른 사람 생각은 어떨지 모르겠네요.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we say acquiring in English, I guess it could mean renting or borrowing, but it almost always means buying. Almost always.
그러면은 그 지프가 그 주제 추천해 줄 때는
Yeah.
그때는 구매의 의미로 한 거예요?
That's what yeah. Well, yes. 구매, which would be buying. Yeah, you're right. That's the difference. 구하다 versus 구매하다. I see. Okay, I get it.
아,
Okay, I get it.
네.
But yeah, we can talk about both. I think that'll be more interesting.
좋아요.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to start with this question. How many books do you have? That's what the question I want to ask. Do you think you have, roughly?
저는 엄청 많지는 않은데,
Yeah.
책장이 지금 안 보여서 아마 한 30권은 안 될 것 같은데요.
Okay. All right. So like 30 books or
한,
something like that.
네, 한 20권에서 30권? 근데 많이 버린 거예요.
Okay. Yeah. You got rid of a lot?
네.
Did you sell them or give them away or what happened?
판 것도 있고 버린 것도 있어요.
Okay. So it's actually the same for me, sort of. So I'll talk about this in a later episode, but I'm in the process of moving, so I had to get rid of a lot of my books, and I sold a lot of them. So right now, I literally have like 5 books, maybe, like very
오,
very few books right now. But before that, when I sold my books, I probably had like 100 books or something like that.
네.
Yeah.
그러면 지금 남아 있는 5권의 책은
Yeah.
대체 어떤 책이길래?
Well, it's mostly books that I haven't read yet. So most of the books that I bought, I did read, but there was a few books that I hadn't read yet. So I was like, well, I'll keep those ones because I can read them. And while I'm moving, I'm doing some traveling, and so I can read those books while I move. Um, okay, I'll tell you a funny story really quick. Uh, there was a webtoon that I read many years ago called I think it's called Korasa 30분. I don't know if it's famous or not, but it's a very very
어,
easy like romance webtoon that I read
네.
online. And I've I visited New York, and I had a friend visiting New York. We went to Koreatown there, and I saw this webtoon in paper book form, like paper comics.
오,
But I hadn't read all of it, so I was like, okay, I'll buy 3 of those books. And then I never got around to reading them. So now while I'm traveling, I'm reading that webtoon, Korasa 30분, and I finished the first book, but I was like, I want to get rid of this book right now. I don't want to keep it. Like, it's a fine book, but I don't want to keep
네.
it. So me and my wife, we went to a Korean barbecue restaurant.
아,
And I just asked the server. I was like, "Hey, do you want this book, or do you know somebody who wants this book?" Because, like, we've talked about little free libraries before. I didn't want to put it in there because nobody, probably will read Korean. But if I give it to another Korean-speaking person, at least they'll have some use for it. So now I have 2 of those books left.
음. 그래서 받아갔네요, 그 사람이.
Yeah. Yeah. He
어,
was like, "Oh, thank you." Like, he was kind of a younger guy, and I think maybe he would be interested in the content, or maybe he knew somebody who would, but he seemed like very very appreciative. Yeah. It's funny.
아, 네. 뭐 여행할 때 읽으려고 웹툰 책으로 나온 걸
Yeah.
3권짜리를 샀는데
음.
그 1권을 다 읽고 버리기에는 아까워서
Mhm.
한인 삼겹살집?
Yeah. Well, yes, I would call the kogi cheap, but yeah.
아, 그냥 어쨌든 그 한국 사람이 하는 고깃집에 가서
Yeah.
거기 있는 사람한테 그 책을 준 거네요.
Yeah.
그러면은 2권 읽고 나면 또 다른 한국 식당에 갈 수도 있겠네요.
Yeah, but then I was thinking about like when I finished the second book, it might be hard to give the second book to somebody because
아, 그쵸. 1권이 없으니까.
yeah, and I'm not going to go back to the same place because like we just traveled through there, and so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in the mail. I'll send it to that restaurant.
음,
I don't know.
그럴 수도 있겠네요.
Yeah.
어쩌다 이 얘기를 하게 됐죠?
Oh, I don't know.
아, 남아있는 책들 얘기하다가.
Oh, yeah.
네네.
Well, the other one is right next to me. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I'll just show you.
뭐예요?
So,
다 안 보여서.
Anne of Green Gables. So, which is in Korean 빨간 머리안. And this is the Korean version of the book, so it's actually written in Korean. So, so me and my friend have been reading this for a very long time, and so yeah, I'm continuing to read that. So, yeah.
좋습니다.
Yeah.
아, 그러면은
Yeah.
책을 어떻게 구하는가,
Right.
사는가?
Right. Let's talk about that.
네, 그 얘기를 한번 해보죠.
Yeah. How do you usually buy books?
그러니까 그 질문이
Mm-hmm.
책을 어떻게 고르냐예요? 아니면 진짜 말 그대로 어떻게 사느냐예요? 둘 중에 뭐예요?
Let's talk about buying or borrowing. Like, how do you get books? Yeah.
오케이. 그러니까 어떤 책을 읽을지 생각하는 건 빼고
Yeah.
저는 살 때는
Mm-hmm.
그냥 무조건 똑같아요. 그 알라딘 가서 사요.
Oh, yeah. I've been there one time, actually. Do they only sell used books or do they sell new books also?
그게 새 책은
Mm-hmm.
온라인으로 살 수 있어요.
Oh, really? Okay. When I was visiting Korea, I like went to an Aladdin shop and visited, and it was really, really cool. But okay, they sell on that.
그런 매장은 중고 서점이에요.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's mostly used.
네. 전에 카트리나 한국 놀러 왔을 때 그 알라딘 중고 서점 같이 가서 제가 책을 하나 사줬습니다.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
네. 네네. 뭐 아무튼 그래서 알라딘 그 온라인 서점에서 대부분 구매를 하고요.
Okay. So
네.
when you go on Aladdin to find a book, do you already know what book you want to buy and you look for that, or do you like browse and find something?
보통 반반이거든요.
Okay, half and half. Yeah.
보통 둘 다예요. 보통 둘 다.
Okay.
왜냐면은 제가 필요하거나 읽고 싶은 책이 생기면 그걸 바로 안 사고 기다려요.
Yeah.
그 왜 기다리느냐? 그 알라딘은 그 예쁜 굿즈를 이벤트성으로 많이 항상 팔거든요. 그 지금 제 뒤에 있는 이 파란색 담요 그 용 무늬 있는 거 이것도 알라딘 굿즈인데.
They sell more than just books then.
네네.
Okay.
근데 저거만 살 수는 없어요. 막 뭐 무슨 이벤트 도서를 포함한 책을 5만 원 이상 구매하면 저런 특별한 아이템을 얻을 수 있어요.
I see. So if you buy a certain amount of product, then they'll give you a free gift during certain events and things like that.
네네. 뭐 완전히 무료는 아니고
Okay.
되게 싼 값에 마일리지로 살 수 있는 건데.
Okay. You build up points.
네네.
Okay. That's cool.
근데 만약에 제가 사야지라고 생각했던 책들이 합쳐서 5만 원이 안 된다. 그러면 그 남은 돈을 채워야 되잖아요.
Okay. Yeah.
그땐 이제 뭐 읽을 만한 거 없나? 뭐 이렇게 살펴보는 편입니다.
I see. Makes sense. Yeah. Let me think about it. How do I usually buy books? I think I never really look for a specific book. It's almost 100% if I'm in a bookstore, I'll just look at the books. And if I see something that I'm like, oh, I really want this, or it makes me excited, or oh, I've been wanting to find this, then I'll buy it right then. But I almost never like am looking for a specific book. Almost never.
그렇구나. 근데 되게
Mhm.
편하게 막 뭔가 좀 캐주얼하게 그냥 휙휙 잘 사네요, 책을.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
음.
And I would say that most of the books that I buy are usually comics, because I enjoy reading comics. I'm a slow reader, so it's like less words to read, so it's just easier for me. But also like, I guess if it's a book that's a regular book, not like textbook, then I'll probably listen to it as an audiobook rather than reading it directly. Usually, but you can't really do that with comics. So. Yeah.
그쵸.
Yeah.
아, 오디오북이 있으니까.
Yeah.
근데 오디오북도 사지 않아요?
So that's a good question. I feel like I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks. And I think I'm trying to explain this is that I'm not really familiar with audiobooks. It's just very occasionally I'll listen to them. But usually it's just so my wife Rachel listens to a lot of audiobooks, like maybe like one a week, like all year round. Yeah, she listens to a lot of audiobooks. And so sometimes she'll ask me, hey, do you want to listen to this book with me? And I'll be like, sure, yeah. And so we'll listen to a book together, like in the car or, just during certain times. And so, so I don't even really think about audiobook services, whether it's a paid service or buying or renting or whatever. I just never think about it. Yeah.
아, 다른 사람이 사주는구나.
Definitely. Yeah. Everybody is a little different. Yeah.
아니, 근데 오디오북을 같이 듣는 활동 뭔가 좀 로맨틱하네요.
Is that right? Yeah, I think so. I think it can be. The most recent book we listened to was Project Hail Mary, which is, I think maybe we mentioned this before in a different episode, but we listened to that all the way through, and then we watched the movie together also. And so, yeah, it was a good romantic experience, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
참, 저에게도 그런 짝이 생기면 좋겠습니다.
Yeah, I hope you find somebody you can listen to audiobooks with.
네, 낭만적이네요.
Yeah. Totally. Very romantic.
아무튼 그러면 지프는 일단 그 책을 봐야 사잖아요.
Yeah.
그러면 종종 서점을 들리는 거예요?
Not too often. I would say I don't go to the bookstore very often. It's more like I would say I go maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And when I go, I'll probably buy like 3 or 4 books all at the same time. And then when I've kind of finished most of those books, then I'll be like, oh, I should go to the bookstore again. I'm low on books or something like that, or low on new books that I haven't read. Yeah.
그렇게 하고 근데 그 가서 책을 사기 전에 좀 재밌겠다라고 그 판단하는 게 금방금방 되는 편이에요? 아니면 좀 많이 살펴봐요?
No. When I'm not at the bookstore, I don't like think about books or what I want. Or are you talking about reading the books that I have?
아니요. 그 서점에 있을 때.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
이제 그 책을 사러 가서.
Yeah.
그러니까 이제 어떤 책이 있는지 볼 때.
Yeah.
이 책 재밌겠네 하고 그 띵 느끼는 게.
Yeah.
그 보자마자 바로 딱 이거 재밌겠는데 하고 바로 그냥 사요?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll go to the bookstore and just look at what's there, and if something like makes me excited, where I'm like, oh, this looks really cool or interesting, then I'll just buy it. And yeah, for me, it doesn't matter if it's like used or new, but I'll try to like just kind of flip through books and see what I like, and then get something. Yeah, and yeah, the couple times I've been to Korea, like I said, I went to Aladdin one time, but when I go to bookstores in Korea, I'll usually try to find something that's a good fit for my reading level. Because, like, you know, a long time ago, I needed to read like children's books and then eventually like teenager books. And now I'm reading kind of normal novels. But yeah, when I'm in Korea, I'll usually try to get a few books on my trip to bring back with me. Yeah. Yeah.
그때는 만화책이 아니었던 거죠?
Yeah, both. I would say both comic books and regular books. It kind of depends. Yeah. So yeah, I would say when I'm trying to like study Korean or like practice reading Korean, usually it'll be not a comic book. It'll usually be a novel in most cases. But, yeah.
네, 아무튼 그렇군요.
Yeah. Do you think that you read any comic books, or do you mostly read non-comic books or regular books?
저는 그냥 실제 책으로 읽는 건 사실 만화책을 마지막으로 읽어본 지가 까마득해요.
Okay.
네, 되게 오래된 것 같아요.
Okay.
그래서 실제 책을 읽는 거는
Yeah.
다 그냥 글로 된 책만 읽고 근데 뭐 그때 대신 핸드폰으로 웹툰을 계속 보고 있긴 하죠.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I don't read a lot of webtoons. There was that one that I read, but for the most part I don't. So yeah. Yeah, usually I like paper form, I guess.
아, 그쵸. 저도 제가 되게 좋아하는 웹툰들은 종이책으로 나오면 좋겠는데
Yeah.
네, 전 그럼 바로 살 거거든요.
Right. Would that be just to reread it, or do you mean to read it that way the first time?
다시 읽는 거죠.
To reread it. Okay.
네. 그리고 좀 기념품 같은 느낌으로.
I see. Yeah. One other comic that I've wanted to read, the Korean comic, is 신과 함께. And so I bought that book while I was in Korea, but I haven't started reading it yet. So that's another book that I kept that I'm going to read that, you know, after I move, I guess.
근데 옛날 막 단어들
Yeah.
그런 게 많아서 좀 어려울 수도 있겠네요.
Right. I think it's a very difficult book, and so that's why I'm waiting a little bit so that maybe my skill will be a little bit more by the time I start reading it. But yeah, I think it's difficult.
그러면 시리즈 다 샀어요?
No, just the first book. I know that there's a few, but no.
네.
Yeah.
1편?
Yeah, the first one.
그렇구나.
Yeah.
저는 그 마지막 편을 제일 좋아하거든요.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
네. 그리고 가끔 막 다시 찾아보는 부분도 있고 그런데 아무튼 좋습니다.
Do you use your book library? I don't know. I said book library. I should just call it library. Do you go to the library?
저는
Yeah.
전 도서관을
Yeah.
종종 사용하는 편이에요. 나름의 기준이 있는데 책을 사냐 안 사냐의 기준.
Wait, but you can't buy books at the library. Not usually.
그쵸. 그게
Yeah.
그러니까 그 책을 살 때
Yeah.
저는 소설책은 웬만하면 사지 않거든요.
Oh, you don't usually buy novels.
네.
Okay.
왜냐하면 저는 소설을 한 번 읽으면
Yeah.
다시 읽는 일이 없어서
Right.
근데 저는 그렇게 돈이 막 많지는 않기 때문에
Sure. Yeah.
그래서 읽고 싶은 소설책이 있으면 보통 도서관에 가서 빌려 읽어요.
That makes sense. Yeah. If it's a book that you don't think you're going to read again, like a novel, then you might as well just borrow it from the library because, it's a waste of money to like buy it if you're only going to read it one time, I guess.
그쵸.
I see.
그리고 그 소설이 아닌 책들도 뭐 예를 들면 뭐 과학책이나 뭐 경제책이나 뭐 심리학 책이나 이런 거.
Sure. Yeah. Science books and like textbooks.
네,
and
그런
things
것들.
Like
네, 그런 것들도 보통 그 도서관에 가서 좀 살펴보는 경우가 많긴 해요.
Yep.
이거를 내가 돈 주고 사서 두고두고 읽을까를 파악하는 거죠.
Right.
근데 그렇게 해서 그 도서관에서 한번 도서관에서 꽤 읽고 그냥 따로 사서 다 읽은 경우가 좀 많아요. 저는.
I see. Yeah. So for those, you can like read a little bit of the book, get familiar with it, and then swap it out for a different book and read that too.
그러니까 새 책으로 읽는 거죠.
Yeah, that makes sense.
네네.
What was I going to say though? For me, I almost never go to the library. I think I used to go to the library a lot when I was very young, like in school. I would go to the library all the time. But yeah, these days, so like I said, I don't read a lot of novels. Like I don't usually read novels. And they don't have a lot of comic books at the library.
맞아요.
So like, yeah, I never really think about going there. My wife goes to the library a lot because, like I said, she reads a lot, not just audiobooks, she also reads. And so she's always borrowing books. So, yeah. But I will say this. I think that my strategy for buying books is a little bit different than you. I will buy a book that I only read once if I feel like I'll probably also like lend that book to a friend. So like if I'm like, I'll read this one time, but I'll also let somebody else borrow it. That's usually when I buy a book. So like not just for myself, I let other people, use my books basically.
공동구매 같은 개념이네요.
Yeah, I think so.
나만 읽는 게 아니라 친구들이랑 같이 읽어야지 이렇게.
Right. Exactly.
좋다.
Yeah.
아하. 네. 근데 하긴 그 글로 된 책을 많이 안 읽으니까 지프가
글로 된 책. What is that?
네, 그냥 텍스트 있는 책이요.
Okay.
책.
Just text.
네네.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. What about it?
근데 그 도서관에서 소설을 빌려 읽는다 했잖아요. 근데 그 소설이 아닌 책은 도서관에서 안 빌리는 이유가 그 제가 사서 읽어서 제 책을 읽는 거면 그 막 밑줄 같은 거 그을 수 있잖아요.
Right. You can write in your own books.
네네. 그 메모도 할 수 있고.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, you can't do that with library books.
근데
Yeah.
그러니까 저는 그렇게 빌려서 도서관에서 읽다가 이거 밑줄 치고 싶을 정도로 좋다.
Yeah.
하면 무조건 구매를 하는데 근데 도서관 책에다가 밑줄을 긋는 사람들이 있더라고요.
Oh, really?
네.
Yeah, that's kind of frustrating. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think about it. I definitely would not write in a library book. Yeah, I think if I saw writing in a library book, I would just be mad. I'd just be like, why?
그러니까
Yeah.
찌푸도 그렇죠.
Yeah.
기분이 확 나쁘더라고요.
Yeah. That's bad.
네. 그리고 뭐 그 줄 끈 센스도 좀 이상하더라고요. 왜 여기다 줄 꺼놨지? 이렇게.
Right.
좀 그랬습니다.
Right.
근데 그리고 뭐 다른 이야기인데 그 알라딘 제가 얘기했던 그 온라인 서점에 중고 책을 제가 팔 수도 있어요.
Right. You can sell your used books as well.
네. 근데 그게 되게 간편하거든요.
Yeah.
그 알라딘 앱에서 그 바코드 스캔하는 그 카메라 부분을 열고 그냥 책들 찍으면 이게 얼마에 사가는지가 나와요. 그럼 이제 그거를 등록해서 이거 다 팔게요 하면은 그 택배 기사님이 가지고 가거든요.
Really?
네.
That's cool.
되게 편하죠.
Yeah, it's not
근데 막
as easy to sell
네.
books here, but go ahead.
근데 가격이 막 비싸진 않아요. 막 한 권에 500원, 1000원 이렇게 할 때가
Really
대부분이고.
cheap. Yeah.
네, 근데 뭐 집 정리하고 비울 때
Yeah.
버리는 거보다는 좋잖아요, 그게.
Yeah, true. It's better than throwing it away. Yeah.
네, 그래서 몇 주 전에도 한 대여섯 권 그렇게 정리를 했는데, 근데 제 누나가 방학 때마다 집에 오는데, 그때 항상 누나는 그냥 책을 막 사서 읽거든요. 근데 소설책을 주로 사서 읽어요.
Yeah.
네, 근데 그 알라딘의 그 중고책을 팔 때 그 책 등급이 나뉘어요. 등급. 네.
What's that?
뭐 A급, B급, C급 이렇게
okay. Okay.
최상, 상, 중, 하
Okay.
이렇게.
Yeah.
그러니까 새 책 같으면 그냥 완전히 새 책이랑 다름이 없으면 최상이고
I I see.
좀 사용한 느낌에 따라 상중하가 달라지고
Uh-huh.
가격도 달라져요. 더 비싸게 팔 수 있는 거죠. 깨끗하면.
Right. So the
그래서,
quality of the
예.
book, it can give you a different price based on the quality.
네, 네. 그래서 그때 막 소설책 같은 거 저 뭐 있긴 있었는데 제가 좋아하는 소설들.
Mhm.
근데 그것도 너무 안 읽어서 뭐 보니까 새 책이랑 똑같이 깨끗하길래
Mhm.
그래서 그것들을 딱 바코드를 찍고 있는데 누나가 사놓고 간 책들도 처분을 해야 되겠다 해서 그래서 살짝 봤거든요.
Yeah.
근데 소설인데 색연필로 밑줄을 그어 놓은 거예요. 그냥 누나가 재밌게 읽은 부분에 줄을 그어 놓은 거죠.
Uh-huh.
그래서 그 책은 결국 못 팔았습니다.
Too much writing in the book, so you just couldn't sell it.
네, 네.
I see.
그래서 제 누나지만 좀 화가 났었어요.
Yeah.
내 책도 아닌데.
Right.
네.
Yeah, I think so. When I'm like studying in a Korean book, I will make a lot of notes in the margin, but I don't ever like intend to like resell that book usually. Like, like it doesn't make sense to resell it that way. So, yeah, I would say most of the books that I have, I don't even write in. But if it's a reference book, then I might write in my own book, like because I'm making my own notes, things like that. So it depends. Yeah.
맞습니다.
Yeah. But yeah, when I did go to Aladdin and looked through books, I never saw writing in those books. They all seemed very like clean and like very good quality for the most part.
맞아요. 그 매장에서 파는 것들은 진짜 거의 깨끗한 책을 팔죠.
Yeah, definitely. There was one other thing I was going to ask about. Oh, I was just going to mention Little Free Libraries, which, like I said, we've talked about before, but we have a culture here where in different neighborhoods, people will make a like a little kind of like birdhouse looking thing and put it on their like in front of their house, like on the corner, and then they'll put books in there, and the idea is anybody can take one book and leave one book. Usually that's how you want to do it, 1-for-1 trade. And so over time, the books that are in the Little Free Library will be different all the time. Like you never know what you find there. And so, like, definitely, me and my wife have used Little Free Libraries where if we'll have some books in the car, like just occasionally, and if we go past a Little Free Library, we'll say, "Oh, let's stop and go look." And so we'll stop, get 2 or 3 books, go to the Little Free Library, put 3 in, and then take 3 out, and then go. And it's just a really nice way that communities like share books with each other and stuff like that.
그러니까요. 그거 진짜 좋은 것 같아요.
Yeah, it's really neat.
와, 그런 동네에 살고 싶다.
Yeah. I feel like you could kind of do it anywhere, but the one problem, it's not a big problem, but a small problem with Little Free Libraries is they tend to be like very like children's books or kind of like very family friendly, like simple books. They don't usually have something that I want to read. But occasionally it just depends. Like sometimes they'll be like I don't remember a good example, but sometimes there'll be like a biography of some famous person that I think is interesting, or like sometimes like a coffee table book where it's just like so we call it coffee table book. You might call it art book, where it's just like here like for example some Disney cartoon. Here's behind the scenes background information about like sketches and concept art and things like that.
그런 걸 커피 테이블 북이라고 해요?
Yeah, we call those coffee table books because the idea is that at your house, on your coffee table, you might just put the book there. So if somebody comes and visits your house, and if they're bored, they'll say, "Oh, what's this book?" and pick it up and just look through and then put it back down. They don't have to read everything. They can just look at 1 or 2 pages. So.
약간 잡지랑 비슷한 개념의
Yeah, like a magazine. Yeah,
목적이네요.
it's similar. Yeah.
그렇죠. 미용실 가면 항상 있잖아요.
Yes. Yeah, in waiting rooms. Or sorry, in 미용실, the barbershops or
그런 곳,
beauty
네,
store,
살롱, 헤어
salon.
살롱, 네.
Thank you. Yeah, things like that.
아, 그렇죠.
Yeah, so instead of having magazines, you could have coffee table books at those places too. Yeah.
그런 개념 처음 들어봤습니다.
Yeah. But yeah, little free libraries will sometimes have stuff like that, and I get interested in those. Like, here's a book, pictures of explosions, or here's a book that's pictures of cats or things like that. Just very simple things. So yeah.
좋습니다. 그래서 뭐 빌리는 것도 얘기했고, 사는 것도 얘기해봤고.
Yeah. What else is there? Books. Do friends ever give you books as gifts?
진짜 옛날에 있었던 것 같은데. 근데 거의 없는 거나 다름없어요.
Okay. Yeah, I occasionally get books as gifts, and whenever that happens, I feel like I have an obligation that I need to read that book because they gave it to me. Not in a
네.
bad way. Like, it's in an okay way, because usually they have like a reason they wanted to give me this book, or they recommended it, or they expect that I might like it. And usually that's been true. Like, usually the books that I get, I do enjoy reading. So yeah.
네. 제 이모가 있는데 제 엄마의 여동생이거든요.
Okay, your mom's younger sister.
네.
Your aunt. Okay.
근데 이모가 책을 엄청 많이 읽으시는데 근데 가끔씩 엄마한테 책을 그렇게 사서 보내줘요. 선물로. 네, 막 서너 권 보내고 그러거든요. 엄마는 안 읽어요.
I see.
근데 그러잖아요. 그리고 시간이 한참 지나잖아요. 그러면 그 새 책이나 다름이 없잖아요. 그 책들이. 그럼 제가 그걸 모아서 알라딘에 팔아요.
Oh. Yeah, just resell them or regift.
네.
Yeah. Makes sense too.
그렇습니다.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know if there's any other ways that I get books.
뭐 교환 이런 거. 교환 얘기했구나. 바꾸는 거.
Just trading?
네.
Oh, uh-huh.
근데 아까 그 지프 동네 그 집
Yeah,
앞에 이거
similar to
게.
that. Yeah. Uh-huh. What in what situation would you be able to like trade books? Like, how does that happen for you?
사실 그게 요즘 사회에서는 일어날 일이 거의 없잖아요. 근데 일어날 뻔한 적은 있는데 저는 방글라데시 살 때 제가 한국 책 몇 권을 들고 갔었거든요. 근데 거기에 있던 다른 한국인 친구가 막 자기 소설이 너무 읽고 싶다고 막 한국어로 된 책이 너무 읽고 싶다 막 그러는데 근데 안타깝게도 제가 가지고 있던 책들은 다 에세이였어요. 누구 작가 이름 까먹었다. 그 두 권 쓰고 이 안경 쓴 그 미국 작가.
There's no way I'd be able to guess because I don't know author names very well, like even English ones. Sorry, I don't know.
네.
Go ahead.
기억이 안 나네. 아무튼 그래서 그 에세이라도 있는데 그러면 그거를 소설 작가예요. 소설 작가.
Yeah.
페일킹 작가.
What? Who?
페일킹을 쓴
Pale
작가예요.
King. I know it's a famous book, but I literally do not know who wrote that book. So I don't know.
데이비드 포스터 월라스예요.
Okay, David Foster. All right.
우와, 나의 뇌세포가 활성화됐다. 아무튼
Yeah.
아무튼 그래서 그러면 이거라도 읽을래 해서 그 줬거든요. 근데 만약에 그 친구도 저한테 책을 줬으면 교환이 됐었겠죠?
It makes sense because when you're in Bangladesh, there's not very many Koreans there, and like you said, they were like really wanting to read, some books, but weren't able to get them because of where they were. So being able to trade books with each other is like really a good way to at least find something. Yeah.
네, 그렇죠.
Yeah.
근데 약간 동경심이 있는데 그 행위에 대해서
Mm-hmm.
동경심 막 와 멋있다 나도 저런 거 해보고 싶다 뭐 저렇게 되고 싶다 이런 느낌
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그 그게 그 연금술사 읽어봤어요?
No, I don't know what that is.
파울로 코엘료 작가의 연금술사 그게 한국에서는 되게 옛날에 유명했거든요.
I don't know this one. Yeah, but okay.
그게
Mm-hmm.
그게 양치기 주인공이
Mm-hmm.
뭐 모험을 하면서 연금술사를 만나서 뭐 막 진리를 깨닫고 뭐 그러는 내용인데
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그 초반에 그 산티아고라는 양치기가 막 어떤 마을에 가서 양털을 깎아서 팔면서 그 다른 상인을 만나서 그 각자 다 읽은 자기 책을 교환하는 장면이 있어요.
The same book for the same book?
아니 각자 자기가 읽은 다른 책들을
Okay, different books.
그러니까 네네 서로 이제 자기 책은 다 읽었으니까
Okay, yeah.
그 다른 상인이랑 만나서 그 서로 바꾸는 거죠.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
근데 어릴 때 그걸 읽었었는데 전 그게 뭔가 좀 멋있어 보였거든요.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool.
좀 약간 낭만 있잖아요.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, being able to like share books that you've read with another person and get the same back from them. Yeah, that's cool.
네.
Mm-hmm.
그러니까 그게 좀 멋있어 보여서
Mm-hmm.
그래서 저도 예전에 여행 오래 할 때 책을 중간에 하나 샀었어요.
Mm-hmm.
근데 다른 나그네와 바꾸지는 못했습니다.
I see.
네.
Huh. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any other ways that I've like gotten books or things like that. Yeah.
도서 박람회 뭐 이런 거?
도서 박람회, like a book club, reading club.
아니요. 엑스포?
Expo. Oh.
그런 게 가끔씩 있었거든요. 저는.
I've never been to a book expo. I've never heard of such a thing, actually. Interesting. Now, the closest to that I would say is, I've been to Comic-Con, which is like comics convention.
네.
And at those types of places, I'll probably like find a few books or things that I want to buy. But for just regular books, no, I've never heard of such a thing. Yeah.
그러니까 저도 그냥 궁금해서
Yeah.
가봤습니다.
Okay. There was one time where we like our local library was moving from one building to another, and in the process of moving, they were selling a lot of their old books and stuff like that. But I didn't buy any books. I only bought like they had like a few weird like movies and things that I ended up buying.
네?
It's hard to explain. So they had like movies on VHS, like the older style format before DVD. And some of those VHS tapes were like recordings of local news programs, like historic events that happened on the news and stuff like that. And I was like, ooh, I really want these because it's hard to explain. I had a way to transfer from VHS to like digital on PC. And so I could transfer those to digital and then upload them to YouTube and stuff like that.
오.
But also, at the time, this is going way off topic, but me and my friends were we had a club where we would meet once a month, and we would watch short videos together. So we would each choose like 2 short videos to watch and show everybody else. And so I was like, ooh, I want to like get these VHS tapes and like show these at this like short video watching club. And so I took some of those like videos and like I edited them together and like changed them and like made a little music video out of it where it like was editing some of those things. So it's way off topic, but anyway, like that's the only thing that I bought it. In English, I think we might call this either rare media or lost media.
로스트 미디어. 네.
So it's more of like a lost media reason was why I was buying it.
그거 낭만이 있죠.
Yeah, definitely.
맞아요. 그 진짜 옛날 그 모습 보여주는 그런 거 보면 재밌어요 가끔.
Yeah. I found this crazy video of like a puppet show, and I don't know. Maybe I'll try and send you if I still have that somewhere. I'll send it to you so that you can like post a little 3-second clip of it. But yeah, I found some weird puppet show stuff. Things like that.
알겠습니다.
Yeah, anyway.
좋습니다. 그러면은 책 구하기 놓친 게 없나 모르겠네요.
Mm-hmm.
뭐 얼추 다 얘기한 것 같은데요.
Okay, I have a question. One more question.
네.
Do you ever get nostalgic about like an old book that you like read or was read to you when you were young, and say, "Oh, I want to like see that book again that I haven't seen for like 20 or 30 years."
뭐 한 20년, 30년까지는 아닌데
Yeah.
아까 얘기했던 그 연금술사가 딱 그랬고요.
Okay. Uh-huh.
그리고
Yeah, what are
그 요즘 이거 작은 인간이라는 책인데.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
근데 이거 제가 읽은 지 진짜 오래됐거든요. 그러니까 이거를
Mm-hmm.
거의 한 1년째 조금씩 읽고 있어요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
진짜 조금씩. 이게 약간 읽기가 어려워서.
Mm-hmm.
근데 이게 사실 어떤 책이냐면
Mm-hmm.
제가 고등학교 입학할 때 고등학교 입학 전에
Mm-hmm.
미리 방학 숙제 같은 걸 내줬었거든요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그러니까 아직 학교에 그 첫날도 아닌데
Mm-hmm.
그 막 책들을 리스트를 주고 이거 읽고 독후감 써와라 이런 식의 과제들이 있었어요.
Mm-hmm.
근데 그 리스트에 있던 책이에요 이게.
Ah, I see.
근데 그때 책을 그래서 샀나 받았나 모르겠는데
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그 읽다가 포기했거든요. 너무 어려워서.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gave up because it was just too hard at the time. Yeah.
네, 지금 읽어도 어려워요 사실.
Oh, it's still hard. Okay.
네, 이게 좀 번역 문제인지
Yeah.
막 글이 되게 막 쉽게 잘 들어오지도 않고
Mm-hmm.
아무튼 그래서
Mm-hmm.
근데 그 대충 어떤 책인지만 알고 초반에 포기한 책인데
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그 이렇게 한 30대가 되고 나서
Yeah.
갑자기 그게 생각이 나는 거예요.
Mm-hmm.
근데 그리고 막 그때 기억도 나고 그 어릴 때 막 고등학교 입학 전에 막 설레고 막 걱정되는 그런 마음.
Right.
그래서 이 책을 찾아봤는데
Mm.
그 역시나 그냥 공식적으로 파는 건 이제 다 끝났고
Right.
그 중고로만 파는 거예요.
That makes sense. Yeah.
그 1,000원에 사서
Oh, you get it really cheap then. Yeah.
네 그래서 다시 읽고 있어요.
That's cool. So sometimes like there could be books that you were reading when you were younger or a long time ago that you gave up on, that you like sort of haunt you a little bit. You like think about like, oh man, I really should have finished reading that, or I'm curious what happened, or or if I'm able to read it now and see, then you kind of go back and revisit an older book that you never finished. Yeah, it makes sense. I think I do that too, but yeah, I was sort of thinking more nostalgically, where there's like books that I had like read a long time ago, and I'm kind of curious like how I would react to it now, or what I would think about that book now. It's like, a different person as a grown-up person, basically. So sometimes if I see those, I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen this book in a long time, and I'll buy that. But the place where I usually see those would be like at yard sales or things like that. So if I'm at a garage sale, I might see some very old book. So yeah.
그렇죠. 저도 그렇게 가끔 생각나는 뭐다 읽은 책들 중에도 그런 책들이 가끔 있어요.
Yeah.
네.
Yeah.
모모라는 소설 아세요?
No, what is that?
모모?
Yeah, I know what Momo means. It's like something, but
아
isn't it?
그래요? 그냥 그 모모라는 캐릭터가 있는데,
Oh, it's a character named Momo.
네네 주인공 이름이자 소설 이름인데,
Oh, I don't know about that.
네네 모모라는 소녀가 그 시간을 훔쳐가는 나쁜 세력이 있거든요.
He steals time, or time is being stolen.
네네 그런 나쁜 사람들이 있어요.
Okay, yeah.
그래서 그 시간 도둑들에 맞서서 싸우는 소설? 그게 모모인데, 근데 책이 꽤 두꺼웠어요. 한 이 정도로 두꺼운 책이고 큰데,
It's a very long book.
네 근데 근데 어릴 때 그거를 읽는 저의 모습이 멋있을 것 같아서 그래서 막 억지로 읽은 책이거든요.
You were forced to
네.
read it.
그러니까 스스로.
Oh, you're forcing yourself to read it.
네네.
I see. Uh-huh.
그러니까 내가 이걸 읽으면 내가 멋있어지겠지? 이렇게 생각해서.
I see. Yeah.
네네. 근데 가끔씩 그 책이 생각이 날 때가 있어요.
Yeah.
예, 딱 그때의 기억과
I see.
그때는 억지로 읽었지만 재밌었던 것 같은데 이렇게.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's all I have for ways to get books. I keep wanting to, like, trying to remember a situation where I like found a book, but I have nothing. I've never like, just like accidentally found a book and then started reading it. It's never happened. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's
뭐
it.
충분히 네, 다 얘기를 나눈 것 같습니다. 그럼 이번 시간은 이쯤에서 마무리할까요?
Yeah. Let's wrap up there. That's a good spot to end.
네, 그러면 이번 시간은 책을 어떻게 구하는지에 대해서 다양한 이야기를 나눠봤고요. 저희는 또 다음 시간에 다른 유익하고 흥미로운 주제로 돌아올 텐데 언제나 댓글과 주제 추천 열려 있습니다.
Yeah, definitely. This was a good talk about different ways you can get books. And if you have any suggestions on topics that you want to hear, that you're interested in, just leave a comment and we'll probably get around to it.
네. 아마 정확히는 모르는데 이번 영상 뭐 전이나 뭐 이쯤으로 우리가 아마 50편째 될 거예요. 50회. 네, 그러니까 참 많이 했습니다. 지금까지.
Yeah, we've done about 50 episodes now.
네, 거의 50회 좀 넘었을 거예요. 지금 이 영상 올라갈 때는. 네, 그럼 앞으로도 잘 부탁드립니다.
Yeah.
그러면 지금까지 하프앤하프의 정태웅이었습니다. 감사합니다.
And I'm Jeep. Thank you very much. You've been listening to Half and Half, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.